Hello folks, once again, it's the WC, back with another breakdown video. This time we're talking about the Western Conference Finals between the San Antonio Spurs and the Golden State Warriors. First off, I want to give the format of these next two videos. Alright, I want to go in depth about these teams, the intangibles, the bench players, the X factors, the star matchup, the coaching matchup, everything from A to Z to give people an understanding of how the Western Conference Finals is probably going to shape up. But first, what I like to do is that I like to, talk about the previous two teams that were eliminated in the Western Conference and, kind of get my perspective on, their seasons and everything that kind of goes along with that. So this is going to be somewhat of a long video, but not that long, okay? So hang with me. Let's start with the Utah Jazz. The sky's the limit for Utah, man. I don't know if Gordon Hayward is going to come back, but Rudy Gobert, as long as he can stay healthy, is going to be a complete problem. Utah's getting a little bit long in the teeth. They're getting a little bit old, so they need to kind of work on that through the draft, through free agency, try to lure in some younger free agents to kind of build a core around. I think that Utah's future is very, very bright. They can get some scores now. Rodney Hood didn't show up. And then everybody knows what happened to the Houston Rockets. I mean, James Harden just didn't show up at all. I mean, he just went ghost. I mean, it just didn't. I don't know where his mind was, where his brain was in Game 6. But if you watch that whole entire series, like, James Harden didn't really look like regular season James Harden. And that's been one of the biggest knocks on him is when when the lights get the brightest, James Harden is passive. He's not like grab him by the throat and rip your spine out type of player like Russell Westbrook is. And people call him out on that. I've been critical of that, critical of him for that, and he's the main reason why the Rockets are at home right now, not in the Western Conference Finals. I mean, I'm just going to be real. Because when everybody's seeing Game 1 of that series, you were like, "Oh, here comes Houston," and then now it's like, you see Game 6 performance, and you're like, James Harden really laid an egg. And I mean, it's not just him. But he, you want to put him in the MVP conversation. I told y'all in that video, go back and watch that preview video that I did of the Spurs and the Rockets series, and I told you why both Kawhi Leonard and Harden both respectively wasn't MVPs. Just go back and watch that video. All right, it's about 2.5 minutes deep into the video. I want to get into this series between, the Spurs and Golden State. You can't really look at the regular season. Regular season really doesn't tell you too much. It tells you enough, but it doesn't tell you everything that you need to know. This is a different beast. Hurt players are playing through their pains and all that good stuff right around this time of the year. If they're capable of getting on the court, they're going to get on the court. Let's start with the coaching matchup. All right, Popovich versus Kerr in this. Well, Kerr looks like he's going to be out, so you can say Mike Brown, but I'll go with Kerr because I'd expect for him to kind of be back before Game 4. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on with Steve Kerr. Maybe he's hurt, but clearly, I mean, I'm not saying that Mike Brown is a bad replacement. I'm just saying that he's, honestly, and like I said, I've been critical of the whole coaching thing with a team like Golden State, and I'll say it again. I've said it in all these videos. I could probably coach Golden State. Mike Brown is he's not a slack coach, but I mean anybody could have been, Mike Brown. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, anybody can kind of coach Golden State at this point. I mean, so there's certain stuff in basketball that you can't coach, and that's where a guy like Kerr comes in. A guy like Mike Brown comes in, but the majority of that is just pure athleticism, speed, know-how, all that good stuff. And, you really don't need a top-notch coach. Popovich gets the nod here, man. I mean, like I said, I'll keep going back to Game 1 against Houston. I mean, they looked like they were just in shambles. It looked like this was the end. And, out of nowhere, they just turned on the switch. They flipped on that switch I was talking about. And they just kind of powered past them. They got past. And so I'm going to give the coaching nod to Popovich. I'm going to try to speed this up as quickly as possible because I don't want this video to go too long. Um, benches, benches matchup, man. I'm going to look, and some people might be shocked by this. I'm going to go with the Spurs. I mean, I know the Warriors fans is like, man, Iguodala, David West, McGee coming from out of nowhere dunking on people. You know what I'm saying? Like I know they're going to say that Singleton could come in and do his stuff, do his dirt. But one thing that concerns me about Golden State is like Golden State hasn't been punched in the throat. They haven't been punched in the chest this playoffs at all. And I fully expect for San Antonio to do that. And I think that Golden State is going to need their bench to win maybe 1 or 2 games in this series. I think that they need to be deep enough, flexible enough, you know what I'm saying, to the point where they can win a game or two by themselves. And, you're looking at the Spurs. The Spurs bench basically carried them. I mean, Ginobili came out of nowhere, blocked that shot on Harden. I have to give the coach. Look, I have to give the coaching and the bench to check to the Golden State. Not to Golden State, but to San Antonio. I mean, Golden State is. The Golden State fans probably not going to like this, but this is the way that it is. I mean, this is just the way that it is. Um, saying overall, like I think that this series is probably is building up to being a very, very good classic. I was hoping that Tony Parker was going to play, but he's not going to play. Let's get to the star matchups. That's one I wanted to make sure I got to, and that's the reason why I brought up Tony Parker. I think that him versus Curry would have been a no-brainer matchup that you could have looked to for the Western Conference Finals and would have said that that's probably it right there. And some people will say, okay, Patty Mills is just as good. Patty Mills versus Curry would be a good matchup. No, I want y'all to dig deeper. Dig deep. I think that the key matchup in this series is LaMarcus Aldridge versus Draymond Green. Now, I've been one of the biggest critics of Draymond Green. I understand that Draymond Green is a really, really good player. I understand that he's a complete player. You know what I'm saying? And his mouth gets him in trouble. He said something completely asinine about Kelly Olynyk, and I don't really like Kelly Olynyk, but I can even admit that comment was stupid. I like Kelly Olynyk's game, but I just don't like him as I just don't like him. All right. But Draymond Green said something asinine like, "Oh, Kelly Olynyk is a dirty player." This is coming from somebody that has what 8 flagrant fouls over the last 3-4 years. I was like, you gotta be, if that's not the pot calling the kettle black, 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 then I don't know what is. But I want y'all to keep an eye on that, man. LaMarcus Aldridge has gone ghost. I mean, like it's just like there's time, like I can't stand LaMarcus Aldridge because he goes ghost and then he comes in and well, the game before he scores 5 points and grabs 3 rebounds. The next game he grabs 20 rebounds and puts in 35 points. I was like, where the hell was this last game? I mean, where were you last game? And it's frustrating. Both of these guys swing the momentum for their team. They uplift their team. Whichever guy gets the better of this matchup, that team will go to the NBA Finals. You can book it, and the rest of these guys, like Durant's just going to do what he's going to do. Curry hasn't had to be explosive this offseason in order for his team to advance. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi Leonard playing hurt. I don't know if he's going to be too much of a factor in this series at all. But they finished off Houston without him. I will say that. They finished off Houston without him. And, it is what it is. You can't deny that is something that actually happened. All right, let me get into who I think is going to win this series, man. I've already talked for about 10, almost 10 minutes plus. Talk for a few more. Come on, San Antonio. Like, I mean, like, I want to take the Spurs so badly, man, because it's like, Durant, just defied all of basketball history and just said, "Oh, I'm going to take the easy way out, and I'm just going to go all the way over here." And I'm telling you like this: they make it to the finals. I'm going to say the same thing in that video. I'm going to say the same thing in that video, so y'all know it's coming. I'm going to say the same thing. But he took the easy way out, and I still feel that way. And I don't know if Kawhi Leonard's going to be 100% healthy. Tony Parker clearly is a difference maker that they won't have. Um, I don't think that Curry has to do too much. I don't think that Thompson has to do too much. Like I said, I'm stressing the importance of Draymond Green's performance against the Spurs. He has to show up or they will lose. It doesn't matter if Durant scores 50. If Draymond Green does not show up, the Golden State Warriors will lose. I mean, just like last year. When he was not there, the momentum of the series changed, and they couldn't get it back. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it like this. I think that the Spurs can force a game 7, but I think it'll end in 6. I think that the Golden State Warriors will win this series in 6 games. Just too much talent, too many guys that can fill in when another guy's having a bad night. It's just too much firepower, man. They just have it. But, Draymond Green is going to be the de facto difference maker in this series. If he doesn't perform, Golden State is not going to the finals. All right. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you guys. All right. So let me know how you guys feel. It's the WC. Been a long video. Make sure that you guys stay tuned for the Eastern Conference Finals preview and prediction video and the NBA Draft Lottery video that's coming up so hot, so quick. Man, I'm already recording a video. I'm already doing the scouting on the players already. The music is playing in the background. So y'all know that the video is over. And until next time, peace out.